Hi, welcome to another episode of Nick's Nerd Network. I'm finally getting some more nerd content out there. Sorry for the delay. I've been really absorbed with getting some LGBT content out there and getting some more informative things out on the channel. So let's go ahead and do a review of one of my favorite TV shows that I'm watching, and it's called RWBY, RWBY. And we'll take a look and go over it. This is Nick's Nerd Network, and I'm Nick. So why should you watch RWBY? Well, you should watch RWBY because it's full of action and fantasy. It's got cool weapons that seamlessly transform into other weapons that are powered by magic, and the characters have magical powers, but they're not like so magical that they're overpowered. They have limits. They're very specific powers that aid them, so they're not like unstoppable super beings. Your favorite fairy tale or mythological creatures or even characters from other books, they're all included in this. They are represented in different ways. They don't have the same names, but you know who they are, and that's the whole point of this. These characters are designed with cosplayers in mind so that they'd be easily recreatable. They have an insane fan base of people who are trying to ship every single character under the sun, no matter who it is, what gender, what their sexual orientation is, and I just love it. Like, they leave so many things open-ended, and it's just a great show. Also, I would say one of the most important things about this show is its soundtrack. Its soundtrack is absolutely beautiful. They have, it's like a combination of like rock and jazz and like very soulful style music stylings and a little bit of techno, and it's just amazing. Like, check out their soundtracks. They do a soundtrack for every single season of the show. They're on season 5 right now. Check out the soundtracks. The show itself, RWBY, is an American-made anime by Rooster Teeth. The main character is Ruby. She's based off of Little Red Riding Hood, and she goes to the school where they're being trained to be hunters and huntresses. And it is a school where these characters are growing up to be warriors that protect the world and the people of their city from creatures of Grimm. They're like the Big Bad Wolf, the Three Bears, like all the bad guys from, not all the bad guys, but a lot of the bad guys that are animal based from fairy tale books. They are embodied in these like smoke, dark, crazy, scary monsters that feed off of negative energy. So if a town's feeling a lot of negative energy, there's a lot of sorrow or grief, it attracts these creatures to the town, and the huntsman or huntress's job is to defend them. All hunters and huntresses go to the school. They're set in a team of 4, and their team name is composed of the different components of their group. Each character has their own unique weapon that fits their specific fighting style, and they also have what's called a semblance, which is a usually in most cases a small type of power that somehow boosts them or gives them aid. So it could be like being able to summon things, it could be super strength, it could be polarity or control of metal, it could be healing, those kinds of things. Now, you meet more and more characters as the season goes on. These characters, like I said, they're based on fairy tale characters. Some of them are fairy tale villains, some of them are fairy tale heroes, some of them are minor fairy tale characters, a lot of them are from The Wizard of Oz. The main 4, Ruby, Red Riding Hood, Weiss is Snow White, Blake is Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and Yang is Goldilocks from The Three Bears. And the more characters you meet, the more diverse the universe becomes. Some of the good guys that would be good guys in a fairy tale are actually the bad guys, like such as Aladdin, or there's also some Greek god characters. There's Mercury, there is Cinderella, where some of the bad guys. But it's a really diverse cast, and you're seeing these fairy tale characters from all these different universes working together and overlapping and sharing these stories, and it really gives me this reminiscence of Once Upon a Time that I really liked from the series Once Upon a Time, and it's overall a really great show. So what does the show mean to me? The show actually means a lot to me. I love this show because it approaches a lot of really complex topics in a really creative way. They have a lot of LGBT type characters, or characters that could easily be assumed to be part of the LGBT community, which is not something we have a lot in animated series. I mean, aside from like Steven Universe and a few others, usually in anime style shows, LGBT characters are either seen as a sex symbol or a comic relief symbol. So they tackle discrimination. So instead of having different like traditional races that we would think of, like being African American or Native American, Asian, Hispanic. I'm not going to name them all. I'd be here all day. But instead of those traditionals, they have an entirely different race that's called the race of the Faunus. And Faunus, they look completely human, other than they have like one animal characteristic. They might have bunny ears or a wolf tail. It's kind of like they're the furries of their universe. They might have been appealing to that fan base of cosplayers. But what's great is they tackle discrimination in that, where it doesn't matter the color of your skin. All of them are considered equals as hunters and huntresses. But with some of their body parts and appendages, they're getting discriminated against. There's a whole nother faction of not villains, but like extremists of this group of Faunus that are fighting back and becoming like terrorists to regain power and regain control. And they're like a splintered cell version of a good group of Faunus. And it's just really complicated, and they tackle it so beautifully because they present like really likable characters that are a part of these different ethnicity groups that are being discriminated against, and you feel for them, and it really helps you understand a little bit more. You also, what I love about the show is that it's not just the main characters, like not just the main Ruby or any of her main castmates like Weiss or Blake or Yang, but a lot of the other characters. They've all experienced some sort of trauma, or they have some sort of like weakness that they need to overcome. You get really invested in these characters because they're all so likable. I would say that I'm really passionate about most of these characters. And if you go to a Comic-Con or anywhere there's cosplaying, most of the characters that are like frequently on the show, you will see someone dressed as. Like even some really obscure ones you wouldn't think to see. You've seen me in the past. I like to dress as Neptune a lot. It's a lot of fun. Some of my favorite characters from the show, my most favorite is actually Nora. I hope to do a gender-bent cosplay of her at some point. Nora is a representative of the Norse god of thunder Thor, or we might know him in the Marvel Universe as the super hunky Chris Hemsworth. And she's just this lovable, fearless goofball. She's 100% herself. She's a little bit crazy at times. And it's what's interesting about the show itself is that some of these characters that might be traditional seen as a male might be in a gender-swapped scenario. So Thor, we see this big, like, masculine, strong character, and then we see this really, I don't want to say overly feminine, but she's dressed very feminine, and like her color scheme is very pink and white and lacy and frilly and like hearts. But she's this super powerful, strong, independent powerhouse that really just shatters all those stereotypes that we think of. She's not the damsel in distress. She's not weak. She carries her mighty hammer around that she sends like giant blasts of lightning through, and she's just an amazing character. I relate to her a lot because she's a character that's really friend-zoned by another character, Rin. And I don't know if it's just that like they're too close as siblings, or like they grew up together but they're not actually siblings, or if she's just in the friend zone, or if maybe he might be gay. I don't know. Like we haven't really gotten to explore their relationship very much. Another character I bet you could guess is Neptune. I'm a little bit biased here. Neptune himself isn't really that important of a character in the series yet. I'm hoping to see more of him soon. He's been gone for a while from the series. And I mostly love the way he looks. I love, like, light blue and dark red together are my absolute favorite color scheme. And I just love the way he looks. He's kind of a lot of things that I'm not. He's very confident. He's like a ladies' man. A lot of people have shipped him with other characters, both male and female. And he's just really interesting and goofy and funny. He's like serious, but not serious. Neptune is based on the Greek god of the sea, but it's weird because he's also afraid of water. One of my top all favorite characters is Zwei the dog. He's not in it a lot. He's this cute little corgi, but he is hilarious. He's adorable. He's versatile. Sometimes he's a weapon. I've seen people cosplays with their own little Zweis, and it's just so adorable. And I want one. All right. That's all I had for this episode. Go out and watch RWBY. It's a great show. Give it a chance. If you're against anime, like, get over it. You need to watch it. There's some storylines that cannot be conveyed with computer animation or lots of CGI. Like, sometimes it has to be animated. You have to deal with it. That's all for this episode. I'm Nick, signing off. Bye. Hi, if you like this episode of Nick's Nerd Network, please like and subscribe, or visit our new channel. And when you're on the new channel, check out my new banner. That was made by my friend Jesse. Please check out his website. He's really talented, and I'll leave the link in the description. He's great for all of your graphic design needs.